Good morning, everybody. How's it going? How y'all doing? Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. What's going on? I don't really have much of a video planned again today. But I was like, you know what? I remember when I used to do a video like every day. What did I even talk about? I'm wondering to myself now. But anyway, I thought, you know what? I'll go ahead and make a video. I think I only made one this week, even though it was on Tuesday. Today's Thursday. I wanted to look up the third Thursday for this month. I think it's probably after Easter. Y'all know what the third Thursday is. Group counseling for my family. For counseling for family members of somebody with schizophrenia. Something like that. Anyway, if you hear, she's got her little pollinator garden going, which I think she's gonna say goodbye to. A moving sale. So, somebody else is gonna have that pollinator garden at some point in time after April 3rd. Today's April 3rd. April 5th, my bad. Gypsy, she could hear me. She's a good guard dog. I told my mom, I said we should teach her how to sniff out drugs. And if she finds any marijuana, to give it to me. We need to teach her to do that. As a joke. I said it as a joke. And at the time, my mom took it as a joke. But anyway. Yeah, I guess another month is April. Third Thursday after Easter, which happens to be the 20th of April this year. Speaking of Gypsy. Anyway, I'm waiting on that marijuana legalization federally. There are several things I'm waiting on. The marijuana legalization is one of them. The Democrats were like, with Obama, they were like, it needs to be a scheduled class 3 drug. So you should make it legal federally, so people who work for the government, like the military and stuff like that, will not be arrested if they partake in marijuana. Their jobs and livelihoods and dedication to serving this country will not be hindered because of a little relaxing with the marijuana. Okay. Anyway, what else? Oh, just two little birds over here. I don't know if y'all can see. Oh, this is a little hopping. Little sparrows, finches. I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, I guess I don't really have much to say. Just wanted to hop on and be like, what did I make videos every day? What did I say every day? But maybe getting new neighbors over here. So there's that. The thing's absolutely ridiculous. I'm pretty sure that has nothing to do with the fact that I've never received a paycheck ever as a social media pop star. I'm sure those are completely separate issues. Anyway, Um, and to go even further than that, I'm sure it's a completely separate issue from living in this house, right? Where, logistically speaking, is a lot more neighborhood interactive than the 10415 Ethan Allen house. um, I'm just saying. I'm sure those things don't have anything to do with each other. I'm sure they're completely separate issues, but issues nonetheless. Anyway, um, so yeah, it's the beginning of April. Waiting on that federal marijuana legalization. I'm from San Antonio, Texas, and I've never met a Republican that was against marijuana legalization. If, in case you're wondering, you happen to be somewhere else that's different from where I'm at. Not one Republican have I ever met that was against the legalization of marijuana. So, just want to note that. But there might be Republicans in this neighborhood that are against marijuana legalization. I couldn't tell you. Never had that conversation. Anyway. In case you're wondering, they have a pool. A 3-door garage and a pool. If that's a house that you think you are thinking about buying or renting. Has a balcony that overlooks this garage area. So you could quite possibly be seeing me make my morning chit-chat YouTube videos. In case you're wondering, it is 7:41 a.m. here in San Antonio, Texas. Speaking of San Antonio, Texas, there's that Final Four. I think it's been planned for a couple years now in San Antonio, Texas. There's been a lot of construction. I don't know why here in San Antonio, Texas, but if you're planning to go to the Final Four, from what I know is they're gonna pause all the construction as to ease any sort of traffic concerns and inconveniences. They're gonna halt construction infrastructure during the Final Four. So if you happen to be a tourist, the city is doing their best to curb any sort of traffic inconvenience. But if you happen to see a lot of construction going on in San Antonio, that's not usual. That's usually not how things are here. But I'm just letting you know, if you see a lot of construction and infrastructure work while you're being a tourist in San Antonio for the Final Four, which I think is men's college basketball. So I'm guessing it's college because it's not the NBA, right? There's a different Final Four. Anyway, so yeah, if you happen to be visiting, I say that because there's also concerts going on. I think one time it was the Final Four. I don't know if you follow me, but me and my two sisters went to go see Imagine Dragons in downtown San Antonio, and apparently it was for the Final Four, something like that. It was a while ago, maybe 2018. I'm gonna scratch my nose 1 second. Okay. So I think it might have been then, but I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on it. And it's basically just kind of like a outside concert. And there's gonna be Pitbull. There's gonna be Travis Scott. I think's gonna perform. My sister invited me to go see Pitbull with her because I think it's free to attend. Parking, there's always downtown, not all over San Antonio, but usually downtown. There's a charge for parking, a fee, and I think there may even be like a free shuttle. But anyway, my sister Tracy invited me. She said, "You want to go see Pitbull with me?" She said her and her friend are gonna go on Saturday. to go see somebody. I forget who, but Pitbull's playing on Friday. And it asked me if I wanted to go. I was like, you know what? I was seriously thinking about it. I was like, things are how they are. But, what if I go to a concert that I haven't been to a concert in a while with my sister Tracy to go see Pitbull? But it turns out, change of plans. Her and her friend, who works at Michael's, are gonna go see Pitbull. I've already established with Tracy, so, I ain't going with you and your friend. I'm gonna clear my throat 1 second. Anyway, yeah, I've already told her. So, I ain't doing anything with you and your friend. Okay, that's out of the question, out of the scenario of possible things that could happen. Okay. So anyway, it's gonna be, which I think is this weekend, the Final Four. So, she's posted her on Instagram, my sister Tracy. She said her profile's private, but that's the information relayed to me. But she's posted her on her Instagram. Said friend that's gonna go see Pitbull with her instead of me. But anyway, that's fine, I guess. Anyway, so yeah, that's this weekend. Final Four. Pool nets move in, not because of a restraining order, as far as I'm told. She's moving though. April 2025. I think my mom moved into this house in 2018, maybe 2017. Anyway, what else? And I thought something's kind of funny. On One American News Network, it's a conservative-leaning news show. And I like to keep up with them on Twitter. I'm sure they have a website to get their news articles. But I like One American News Network and Newsmax as not to counter Fox News, but I guess in addition to Fox News or something like that. So on their Twitter recently, One American News Network, it's been a lot of Matt Gaetz. I don't know if you've been following Matt Gaetz because you don't care about him, but he's was a representative for Florida, and got voted for representative, and then he quit. He retired. I don't know who replaced him. I don't know how the state handles that. But in Texas, there's somebody leaves office for whatever reason. There's an election that's held. Sometimes in the state of Texas, the governor has a lot of authority and can appoint a lot of things, especially in the event all that happens. But I think as a representative in Congress, it's the people vote. There's a special election, and the people vote for their representative, which I think in Georgia, that's how MTG entered Congress. Somebody stepped down after the normal 2-year elections were already done and counted, and that's how she got into Congress. So it sounds like Georgia's kind of works similar to Texas, so I wonder if that's the same setup in Florida. But anyway, there were the elections. Matt Gaetz then retires from U.S. representative in Congress for Florida. I think the first district, but I could be mistaken. And then he joins One American News Network, which recently I'm scrolling through their Twitter feed, their Twitter page, and it's like tons of Matt Gaetz. And then, surprise, surprise, who's he interviewing? Carizona. And if you didn't know, obsessed with my husband. I've seen a lot of articles about, is she squatting at Mar-a-Lago? That was like, what, in 2022? Or maybe 2023. I know she would have rallies and she would like get them on the phone call to speak to the people at her rally. She held rallies very consistently. She used to be a Fox News contributor, or Fox News, a local Fox News newscaster, I think, for her career, and then she decided to enter politics. And then now she's for the 47th Trump administration. She is a, what is it, U.S. Advisor to the global media. I just think that's funny. I'm just like, are these people, they can't see what's happening? As far as they're in it, this is their job and work environment and stuff like that. There seems to be a problem with maybe media. I know Caitlin Collins. Oh my gosh, look at kid. You see that kid? We had bird, now we have cat. I know CNN's been downsizing. They've kept Caitlin Collins and they've kept her at the White House despite the president's preference for a different journalist in the press briefing room. And for him to say that, obviously that means something, because he's never really been one to hinder access to the press, even when there's obviously not any sort of favorability, or the opposite. So anyway, I just think it's funny how I'm like, are they not seeing this? You got Carizona, global media, U.S. advisor, being interviewed by Matt Gaetz, who quit as a, I say retired, that's just, I shouldn't even say that. He quit as a U.S. representative in Congress for Florida. Which I was like, ooh, that's odd. Very out of character for Matt Gaetz over there. I'm gonna take a sip of coffee, 1 second. Okay, and then we have this recent tweet of Glenn Greenwald, which is some politician in France. There was I don't know exactly what happened, but it was basically how she got her money to run for a politician, and 47 even commented on it when asked while being interviewed from the press in the Oval Office. And so apparently she's had a lot of shady dealings over in France. I think there's a certain number about the money and the finances, but I think over in France it might look different than the numbers here in the United States, for lots of reasons. So maybe they really don't like that kind of thing in France. But anyway, she's basically Glenn Greenwald framed it as, oh, they're instead of earning votes, instead of listening to the people and their voice through voting, the establishment has barred so and so. I think her name's Le Pen or something like that. I could be saying it wrong. My apologies. Um, I just read these headlines, okay? I don't really like listen too much on them. Um, but he's like, the establishment uh, uh, does not listen to their own voters by barring this one politician who's had money corruption issues. He doesn't say that in the headline. From running for office. I'm just thinking to myself, this is so stupid. I can't believe it. I can't believe I even listened to them. But then I think to myself, like, a lot of what I see, especially before 2021, has definitely been controlled and yeah, right? Allegedly. But as far as all that goes, that's just something that happens, right? I remember in the first Trump administration, there was complaints. They're always going to complain about. So anyway, to finish that one statement about that, I just think it's we got Matt Gaetz in One American News Network, which is not Fox News, but it's a smaller. A conservative-leaning Republican news show, as to say it's a little bit more grassroots than Fox News, so to speak. I mean, One American News can be a corporation, but as far as like a stereotypes and saying, trying to describe companies and stuff like that, Fox News is a little bit more corporate, and One American News Network is a little bit more, for lack of a better word, indie show, alternative show, a network news show, which is where Matt Gaetz chose to go. Because he submitted a resume and they hired him. And there he is interviewing Kari Zona, a squatter of Mar-a-Lago, and a failed attempted politician. And she is currently the U.S. advisor of global media. And so obviously I'm over here sitting here wondering, like, where's all this money going? Because there's campaign finance laws. I don't know what they are in France, but I know that there are such a thing as campaign finance laws here in America. So obviously that's very interesting. Not one interview, not one debate, not nothing. Okay? But that has nothing to do with the fact that Bullnet's moving, and not because of a restraining order. These are all completely separate issues, not at all to be connected. Because of me, no less. Okay? So anyway, very interesting, especially considering I say that, and I'm joking, but in 2021, I was very much like, what is going on? I can't believe Clown Gabbard. That seems very antithetical to a United States veteran. And so if you're wondering, side note, as far as situation preparedness discussions I have with y'all and what I have to look at, it's very interesting, and I can't wait to explain it in a back and forth conversation. But side note is they have an Amazon Ring, by the way, doorbell. You can see into my when you stand over there, you can see the garage and the kitchen window. But anyway, there's a lot of factors involved, especially stuff like that, right? Um, and with Clown Gabbard, I'm just like, if there's a lot of punishment for some reason. Uh, Let me try to finish all these things, and then I might talk about that. So I'm gonna pause that side note conversation. She wants her little attention. She got it. Invading my space, right? Would you do that to Kim Kardashian? Would you? Anyway, so this campaign finance, and something in 2021 I was just absolutely shocked about. I said, suing Google, Act Blue type situation. Then all of a sudden she's allowed to be a Republican and be interviewed by Tucker Carlson, no less, who is separate from Fox News now, even though he had a career at Fox News. I think he even had a career at CNN and MSNBC. So he's allowed to go through these political lines. But for some reason I'm not. Which precedent has been set where? In this back alley? So anyway, campaign finance law, something that I was just absolutely shocked. I said, this seems extremely illegal. You're working for the government, a United States representative, with these campaign finances. That seems really bad. And then to add to that, a live stream. I'm not sure what about this is legal. Getting on me for smoking marijuana. And all of a sudden, not a peep about it. I see you're going to talk about campaign finance. Where's the pro-marijuana legislation? I have anything to do with that. My name has anything to do with that. I cannot wait to see all the effort that has been put into already and established of marijuana legalization, politically speaking. So yeah, this campaign finance and Caitlin Collins and Kari Zona, squatter of Mar-a-Lago, as the U.S. advisor to the global media, and Matt Gaetz being on One American News Network, being very much promoted and advertised on their Twitter. So I don't know how they're not seeing it. Y'all not seeing it? They're making fun of you. Somebody's making fun of you. Somebody says they ain't dealing with you, and they're gonna make fun of you while they ain't dealing with you. Right? So anyway, the side note that I wanted to say, especially with Clown Gabbard, I say Clown Gabbard, but it's like a group. As far as social structures go, as far as situation preparedness discussions I have with y'all, conjecture, guessing, lived experience is they're walking around like there's some sort of LGBTQ friendly type situation, and I use the term friendly. I hate to use that term. LGBTQ punishment. For some reason, I have to be dealing with who I think is Team Clown Gabbard. It's females, and I have to give my attention to them. I have to give my attention to a lot of people, but it's a very distinct. There's different ways people work about things, and there's punishment. There's you need to pay attention to this female to a certain degree. So if you've ever seen, if there's ever been any sort of paparazzi, that's one reason why I kind of have outward emotions with things. People want to be all like, oh, they're just walking through this back alley, right? It doesn't have anything to do with promoting harassment and human trafficking. Those completely separate issues. They're not promoting that, right? At least that's what they'll say when you ask them. However, direct or indirect, right? But with that group, with the Clown Gabbard, it's a subservience to a female type of situation, of which I was surprised Noeem and Gabbard were sitting on the same table, because Noeem's team doesn't really work like that. It's a bit different strategy with Noeem. You got one strategy with Noeem and one strategy with Clown Gabbard. Two different strategies. And like I said, I can't wait to have a back and forth conversation, interview, public discussion about all this. So you want to know how I got so good at psychology? You want to know? I'll tell you. Publicly. In a back and forth discussion. Not in this back alley. So yeah. It used to be a punishment. It was, you need to pay attention to this female. I know what you think your relationship status is, and you need to pay attention to this female to elevate that relationship and disrespect the relationship status you think you're in. I think I'm in, right? And it was, pay attention to this female, and if there's an outward emotion, a negative outward emotion from me, then there would be punishment. Then it would be, since you didn't pay attention to this one female, we're going to bring these 5 males around you. A manner of which you can't do anything about. So, in 2021, 2022, and stuff like that, I was still a bit traumatized and sensitive to that kind of stuff. But now, I'm just, so over it. And now I'm just like, I can see it, like a mile away. I can recognize it. It's the same kind of patterns of behavior. They don't deviate much. And so I'm going to go towards the male. If that's the situation that I perceive myself to be in, I'm going to completely ignore the female. I'm not going to give her any sort of power in the sense of, I don't know, attraction, subservience because of said attraction, which is not there. But I'm just saying, what is the social situation going on here with Clown Gabbard's group? Again, this is all hypothetical, allegedly situation preparedness discussions I have with y'all. Not about campaign finance, but happened after campaign finance. And before then, arguably. Not in 2020 though, right? I don't know if y'all saw it, but I talked with my mom outside in this backyard about, specifically about Clown Gabbard. I said, I don't know how to get rid of somebody who, I don't even know, wants to be in a relationship. I don't agree with that. I don't want anything to do with that. I don't know how to get out of that. I don't know if y'all saw that or not, if that was in the live stream. But that was January 2020. After a mess of 2019. But anyway, so yeah, now as far as when I see that harassment going on, I'll go towards the male. If you're a normal person living your life, things are what they are. It's 2025. If there's not a predatory situation around you, there's not a predatory situation around you. But a lot of the time, like for instance, Carizona, I'm not here right now saying it's a predatory situation, but obviously that's ew, take a hint situation, right? And so it's if you're a normal person, it doesn't apply. But if you're in a situation like me and my husband, and a lot of the times it does apply in any sort of power structure, whether that be in politics or somewhere else. But in politics, especially because of optics and stuff, um, optics are just a part of it. Politics. It's a if you're a male, you usually go with the males, and if you're a female, you usually go with the females. Um, it could be different if you're maybe a liberal or something like that. I can't wait to have a back and forth conversation, but that's just how things are. It's not something that's like discussed. It's something that the psychology is very much understood, of the human nature of things and feelings and emotions, and it makes me happy when he does surround himself with males and stuff like that. And it makes him unhappy if I don't have the opportunity to not be surrounded by females, and have that attention go there. Um, and uh, People try to the strategy of Noem and the strategy of Clown Gabbard try to take advantage of that. And so even though like I said, I try to go with that, respecting my relationship, and especially being understanding of the environment and situation I'm in, and not everybody else is in, is always there. But when it's with Clown Gabbard and it's like a female type situation, I'm gonna go to the male, because you already know, no to this random male over here, but I'd rather choose that than you, whoever happens to be the Team Clown Gabbard strategy. So anyway, my video is gonna end soon, so I guess I did have a lot to say today. But yeah, as far as media goes, I think it's very interesting. Media, news media, campaign finance, and the like. I can't ever believe I listened to Glenn Greenwald in a serious manner. Something that, happened in 2021 for me. I was just like, I can't believe any of these people are such pathetic losers. And that's the best word I can describe it. Right? So anyway, yeah, that's my topic of discussion. If you're in San Antonio, I hope you have a good time. I'll probably be like here. I'm not gonna go see Pitbull because Tracy's gonna go see Pitbull with her friend. But if you're gonna be in San Antonio, I hope you have a good time. I won't be out and about, if that's something that you're wondering. And yeah, I guess that's my video. Hope y'all have a good one. Happy Thursday. I'll talk to y'all later.